her and her boyfriend, who was her photographer, were vacationing there, and he got swept out to sea. She landed in a tree, and I mean the force of it all busted her pelvis and broke her legs, and she hung on in that tree for 8 hours. And I mean, just when I think of her, I get real verklempt, because I just think, you know, how many of us would have given up, or, you know, I mean, and then to lose your love, I mean, I think that would just be so horrible. Well, she's taken, here's Petra. She has taken that horrible, devastating experience, and she's set up a fund to help all the children who went through the tsunami. And I just think that is, you know, a lot of people might walk away from something like that and put it behind them, but she's not. She's, you know, really trying to help change some lives. And her quote is, "Learn from the past, look to the future, but live in the present." Okay, so my next woman, and I kind of lost her over here, so I might have to get a new one. But my next woman is Betty Crocker. And when my husband was looking at this, he goes, you know, okay, here's this stupid story. Minneapolis was the flour capital of the world from like the late 1800s until 1930s. And we had like 6 flour mills right on the Mississippi, all in this area called St. Anthony. It's like they were like right across the river from each other, because it was a big falls there. And then, you know, Washburn Crosby was one of the companies, and they're the ones who became General Mills. And of course, Betty Crocker, she came to being just from, I think it was in the late 30s, 40s. People would write letters to Washburn Company and ask questions about, you know, because nobody really had stoves that, you know, you turned on and they worked, let alone refrigerators. So they were, you know, appliances were really new to them, and so was cooking techniques. So anyways, what Betty Crocker did is they came up with this woman, like this guy would answer the questions, but they came up with this woman, pretend woman, and that's Betty Crocker. So anyways, there's a new museum over there now, and it's called Mill City. It's right next door to the Guthrie. And if you ever come to Minneapolis, or if you live, you know, in the area or whatever, you have to go see this museum. It is fabulous. It is so cool. They have this flower tower exhibit, and what it is this huge freight elevator that has stadium seating, and it sits about 25 or 30 people, and it goes up and down 8 floors, and on every floor the doors open up, and there's like a room in front of where you're sitting, and it's like a scene from the old flour mills. And then they have like people telling stories, and lights, and belts breaking, and flour dust all over the place. It's the coolest exhibit, and the whole museum is really cool. So Mr. Know-It-All, when he was looking, you know, I was showing him my book and said, well, what do you think? You think it's okay? Is it dorky? He's like, you know, because we learned a lot that day. Well, I knew about Betty, but he learned a lot. And he goes, well, you know, Betty's not real, so she really can't be in that book. And I'm just like, okay, so what do you think, you know, otherwise? But anyway, so that was just kind of a fun little story. Anyways, here's a little story about Betty Crocker. Of course, she's not real, so she doesn't have any quotes. And then, oops, I think I got a little booger on her nose here. Oops, there. So, of course, my last inspiring woman, among others that I've met here on YouTube, is Yolanda. And I've got a little thing that says 2 peas in a pod. And this was actually Dawn Commentary. She's the one who did that fabulous, illustration of Galloway. And she sent me, I didn't show the little goodie package because I just didn't want to take anything away from that illustration. It is so fabulous and so wonderful that I didn't want to, like, you know, show you all this cool stuff that she gave me. But she gave me some really cool stuff. And the little bird is one. So my quote from Yolie is, be inspired, because, you know, that's kind of her signature sign off, if you will. But I really do. I think Yolanda is very inspiring. She She has, I don't know if anybody knows this, and I don't know if I'm probably talking out of school, but she has 7 kids. And to be able to do all that she does, and, you know, just seeing her kids on these videos and how much fun they are. I mean, they're hilarious. And I just think she is, you know, Martita. But anyway, so that is my book. And then on the back, I just have, I can't remember. Oh, I know what okay. I didn't put it in here yet, but in my family, our tradition, my parents always did this, and now we always do this. Whenever they gave us anything with a pocket, i.e. a billfold, a coin purse, a wallet, an organizing tote, a backpack, a purse, a pair of jeans, a jacket, whatever, there was always $1 in the pocket. And that was, my mom was very superstitious and my dad liked good luck, so that's kind of what their thing was, is to always put $1 in the pocket. So I will put $1 in the pocket for Yolie, and that's just a little, you know, my signature and whatnot. But anyways, I'm sure I went over about 85 minutes, so, and I'm really sorry about that. You know, if I get boring, just shut it off, okay? But anyways, that's my little purse for Yolie, and I hope she likes it, and as Yolie would say, be inspired. Thanks, everybody. Bye.